People like to ascribe a national character to a nation. People like to ascribe an ethnic character to an ethnicity. They like to assign personality traits to these groups based on their successes and failures. They fail to recognize that environmental factors often dictate defining moments in the history of a race or nation. Just look at the Second World War. France are viewed as weak cowards. Britain is viewed as a stubborn, brave bulldog. But how accurate really is this? If not for the English Channel, the British would have suffered an identical fate to the French. But thanks to the Channel, they survived. This historic event was born primarily out of a geographic reality, but that did not prevent it from informing narratives about national character. It is very common that a group is made great or destroyed based on these kinds of factors. Just look at the history of our own country. Why did Maori lose against the British? We all know the Maori were notoriously good soldiers. They were brave, innovative, and cunning. That is just a fact. They often defeated the British in spite of being outnumbered and outgunned. But in the end, they lost. Was this because of some bad idea or cultural failing? No. It was because of resources. Maori did not have access to rice or wheat. Maori had agriculture, but it was labour-intensive basic agriculture. Its inadequacy also required hunting and gathering. This made food production very inefficient. For this reason, Maori society did not have a standing army of professional soldiers. The British did. Maori soldiers were farmers and hunters acting as part-time soldiers. This made them incapable of waging a lengthy war of attrition. It did not matter how good their strategy was, fighting wars was simply not sustainable, because it required labour that they simply could not spare. This is what prevented Maori society from arriving at many societal progressions. When food production is incredibly time-consuming, you don't have much time for anything else. It is not that complicated. In contrast, Europe had access to a far wider range of crops and animals, and far more efficient agricultural practices, not to mention economies of scale. This allowed for specialization. History is very complicated. Culture does matter, but environment and geography are critical factors. When we overlook them, we condemn ourselves to misinterpret history. Be very wary of that tendency.